if you're in studio, whoever's producing will bring you in and they'll chat with you, and you'll sit down and you might see Doug like flash by, right? Like there he goes, and he'll be like, "Oh, so happy to be able to talk to you today. I'll be right back." That's not a good Doug impersonation, but that's what it's like, right? It's just like really, really quick. You'll see him flash by, and then you'll be watching the clock. It's like tick, 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 and he'll come in and he'll sit down and he'll say, "All right, you ready for this?" It made me feel almost immediately at home. Before we had found a home, before I had settled into my job, RadioWest offered me this sense that everything in my new city was going to be okay. And that sounds cheesy and ridiculous, but I mean, like, it's the God's honest truth.
For me, RadioWest sort of is Doug. And the first thing you notice, he's such a smart reader of what the guest has written. And then he makes the material come alive through these calm, warm, welcoming questions. And I keep asking myself, how does he do it?
People go, "Oh, what are you looking forward to on your tour? Are you doing Fresh Air? Are you doing them?" And I'm like, RadioWest.
Gosh, we need his voice. We really need his voice.
Oh, he's like in another category altogether.
Well, I think of RadioWest as an old friend. Shortly after RadioWest launched in 2001, one of the very first episodes featured our production of the Laramie Project. And Doug was really invested in our work at Plan B. And we said, "Hey, we have this idea about producing radio drama, and would you be open to us doing that with you?" And that was in 2005. And our Radio Hour co-production with RadioWest is now 15 years old.
There's a generosity in his interviewing that is fantastic. And he always leads me to say something that I didn't know that I was going to say, or that I didn't know about the work before he led me to that particular place. And so I look forward to the interviews, partly because it's not just me, giving my little canned spiel about what I'm writing right now, but it's a real conversation that leads me, and I hope him too. He is willing to be led in the interviews, also to, I think, places he didn't necessarily expect to go.
I get distracted by watching what he's doing. It's just so skilled and so masterful and so appealing. I start getting drawn into the sheer act of the questioning, as opposed to what it is I'm going to say and what I will answer.
And it's something more than just that he prepares well. There's some kind of connection where you can, I don't know, you just feel like this is a friend who's read your book and wants to talk about it.
That's actually one of the factors that we often use to judge it by. Did it sound like 2 people or 3 people, however many guests were, sitting down over a drink and having a conversation?
Like, in fact, when my husband and I do our morning exercises and we hear the little blurb that advertises RadioWest, we always say, "Hi, Doug. Hi, Doug." Doug is right there.
We're very, very lucky that Doug has chosen to stay with us and give his much needed voice to our community. Because Doug's about diversity, Doug's about different points of view, and he's about being inclusive, and he's just really, really good at what he does.
I often feel in the many, many other interviews that I do, I hear myself talking about these topics that are in the book, but I'm thinking, I wish that you, the listener, would just read the book, because I'm not doing the material justice. I'm a writer, and I've taken care to write it in a way that is pleasing to me and that I've worked really hard on. And for me to just blather, I find that frustrating. But talking to Doug is almost like writing in the sound space. Do you know what I mean?
He's always willing to take risks, and he brings remarkable vision to his ideas for each and every show. Great ideas, great vision, and now a fabulous team who are always ready to execute.
There's a lot more to Radio West than just the two talking heads that the audience is listening to. For every one of us, there's 5 of you behind the scenes at least, doing important things that without you, the show doesn't exist.
You have a sense of the layers of supremely thoughtful people that are behind him. I mean, you just know that no matter how good the individual skill set, that show is also surrounded by tremendous talent.
I mean, I've had such a great connection to the show over the years. If anything, I just want to say thank you for the 20 years of conversation, of interesting topics, and really helping me connect ideas and stories, not only to my local community here in Salt Lake, but statewide.
To honor this moment and it's kind of an era almost in KUER in the radio station, I think is really fantastic.
It really is pretty cool that we have this program here. It really is. And I think it's amazing that we have people now working for the program who grew up listening to the program. That's crazy.
So thank you, Doug. Thank you, Radio West, for being, an earworm in my ear and my brain for apparently 20 years now. And thank you for letting me be a part of it.
Well, I think that the reach of Doug goes beyond just the Utah audience. I think it goes really in an extremely universal way. And I'm, again, grateful for Doug and to Radio West for pulling that out of an experience, pulling that out of an individual in order to share those common experiences, common insights with others. I just hope and dream that there's going to be another 20 years of Radio West.